So I'm going to share a little bit about, I think it was roughly maybe 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, something like that. But I was feeling really good after what was 7, 8 months of really vacillating between being in this hyper aroused, really elevated state of PTSD into this hypo-aroused state, so this very depressed, what felt like slow motion state. So I was feeling really good, and I posted on my personal Facebook page about what else that, I had been struggling and being in a better place. And then this really interesting thing happened. I'm at a work event, feeling good. And I don't know if this is like this for everybody, but my clients that I work with have communicated some very strong similarities. But I see this sign on this truck and I misread it. And number one, I'm a good reader, but I misread it. And what I misread it triggered all of these other things. And then I started seeing these other things in a very negative, threat-based way. And the way I was interacting with people changed. I am not proud to say, like, I'd even gone over to my daughter's house, who's an adult, and, wanted her to come with me. And so I wasn't in my right frame of mind at all. And so thankfully she had some sense to create a strong boundary, and I ended up leaving. I came back home. I started packing my stuff. I was looking for my passport. I couldn't find it. Well, I don't know what I was going to do. Like, where was I going to fly to? I had to go to work the next day. And I don't know if any of you've ever thought of, like, hey, if I had to leave my house, like, what are the things that are really important to me? And so I had some pictures that are really important to me, and so I packed those in my car. And the next thing, I'm driving down the interstate. I'm listening to some music. Some of the music is not helpful, so I keep changing the station. It's not predictable. So I'm going into this, what feels like in a window of tolerance, safe space zone. And then another song would come up, and I'm getting in this really activated state again. And so finally I turn off the radio. And let me tell you, before I left, I went over to my friend's house, and I can see her light is on in her townhouse, and I'm knocking and no one's answering. And so because I wanted someone to sit with me and just to be there. And she didn't answer. So I ended up getting in my car, and I'm driving. And the next thing, I'm like an hour out from the city that I live in. And I see this Hampton Inn sign, and it's really bright. And so I drive over there, and it's a new Hampton Inn. Like, it was like super bright, like there was lights everywhere. Now, typically I wouldn't love that, but this particular day, it was extremely helpful. So I stop, I check in, I end up talking to someone who, we're both looking at the moon, and it's a sturgeon moon, and so he's talking about that with me. And so I'm starting to get to a more regulated state just by having this conversation with someone. He doesn't know that he's helping me. He just thinks that we're having conversation. As a therapist, I know that he's helping me by us having this conversation. As a person with PTSD, I may not recognize that's actually what's happening in that moment. So we're having this conversation. I continue to have some interactions with people, And with that, I'm getting, I'm still extremely in this activated state, but I'm getting into this place of being able to recognize safety and what that feels like. And so I'm just continuing to have more conversations. I go up to the room with my dog. She always knows when something isn't quite right. And she can be obnoxious in a lot of ways. But she just curled up to me. The middle of the night, someone checks in next to my room. And that, because I heard the door shut. And I was so just, the wheels were turning. And so I was able to bring myself back to, you are in this place. No one can get in this room. Like, you are fine and good enough in this place. And if you need to reach out to someone, you can. And so I didn't really sleep at all that night. My dog slept great right next to me, but I didn't sleep great that night. And the next morning I get up and I take her for a walk, and there's this truck and it says piece of cake on it. And so I said to myself, oh, that was a piece of cake. And then the other part of me is like, was it really? It didn't feel like it. And it didn't feel like it at all. But I get back in my car after I had breakfast. I get back in my car and I'm driving back because I need to go to work. And it just reminded me of the fact that we have options. And the option for me, the night before, I knew I needed to not be at my house because I think it just was too stimulating, too familiar, maybe some past memories, some other things. I just needed to not be in my house. And I love my place. Like, I feel like it's really comfortable and safe for me to be. And that night, it didn't. And so just being aware enough to know that I had an option. And I drove safely. If you don't think that you can drive safely and that you might be erratic with your driving, come up with something else. Take an Uber somewhere safe. But that time, space, and distance completely changed things. And I guess I just want to leave you with that, is that you have options. And if you find that you're in this really activated state, ideally come up with a plan before you're in an activated state so you know what you would do. And I have things written down. I will tell clients and will help them during sessions of writing things down so that way they can look at their 3x5 card of things that we've come up with. Because our cognitive functioning decreases significantly when we're in this activated state, but our ability to read doesn't. And if you can use a tool, a strategy, or a few of those that you've written down, that may just be the thing that is helpful in that moment and that keeps you here. And that's the goal. I hope that's the goal. So I hope that's helpful. I'll be frank, I hope that I'm out of the woods for a while. But if I'm not, I will share some more related to my experience. I do think being a therapist has helped. When I've been in these spots, I have just enough awareness of what's going on. And I hope that some of the things that I share are helpful for you. And it's not a substitute for your own therapy, but I do hope that it can help you in some way. Please take care of yourself, and peace.